Atlantic City's casino era. Meanwhile, I want to check out this story. It is about California Congresswoman who launched an online petition calling for Donald Trump to undergo a mental evaluation. This petition started on change.org by Congresswoman Karen Bass, suggesting that Trump could have narcissistic personality disorder. The petition reads in part, "I call on mental health professionals to publicly urge the Republican Party to conduct an evaluation of Mr. Trump and officially determine if he is mentally fit to lead the free world." Congressman Karen Bass joins me now from Los Angeles. And Congresswoman, just forgive me for doing a little cleanup work right here, because I just want to make sure that everybody knows that the Trump Taj Mahal, those resort properties that we were just referring to about the closure coming up after Labor Day, the Trump organization went into bankruptcy over those. It has now been taken over by Icon Enterprises, and so that is not actually currently under their portfolio. So it has the name, but it's not something run by the Trump organization. But back to this petition that you have. It's about 180,000? Is it 180,000 who have signed on so far? Or
no,
just 180?
no. It's just been up for a couple of hours, just 180.
All right, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't a mistake in the teleprompter there. But the reaction you've gotten to this, do you think that this is a logical change.org petition to put up, or are you just being partisan?
No. I mean, I'm really serious about this. You know, I have a healthcare background. I haven't been in healthcare for a number of years, but I've really been shocked that the healthcare community is not raising the alarms. And all I'm saying is that if you Google the definition of narcissistic personality disorder, you really only need to meet half of the criteria. Every single item on the criteria to make this diagnosis is a perfect description of Donald Trump.
But Congresswoman, how could you work with anyone in Washington? Because most of those folks that you call colleagues would probably fit some of these descriptions, because there's a lot of politicians who have a little bit of narcissistic personality disorder.
You know, you just mentioned a couple of key words. You said a little bit, you said a couple of them. If you go down this list, he goes down the list. But let me just explain. He is running to be the President of the United States with the power to launch a nuclear war. In that position, I think it is completely inappropriate. Now, you can have a lot of personality disorders and function very well. You know, he's a successful businessman. You could look down at that criteria and you could see why he's a successful businessman.
But why is that disqualifying to be elected to president?
Well, because I think the power of the presidency, one, in our country, but also in terms of dealing with international leaders, it is a completely inappropriate diagnosis and disorder to have to be the President of the United States and to lead the free world. He has demonstrated this. He has no ability to have empathy. He clearly is out of control, even to his own detriment. He can only deal with people who admire him. If you give him any kind of criticism at all, he comes completely unglued, and that is not the trait of somebody to be the President of the United States. And that's the fundamental difference. A lot of people have this characteristic or that characteristic. It's very few people that you can go down that list and say that they have every single characteristic. But he has demonstrated over the last few days, all of the coverage that you've been doing all morning about how his campaign is unraveling, there is clearly nobody that can bring this man under control. And to me, that is why mental health professionals need to step up, and they need to share what I know that they already understand.
You did not consult with the physician or anyone like that. Let's just confirm. You did not consult with the physician specifically about this petition.
Absolutely have talked to psychologists and psychiatrists about this. And so to me,
this petition specifically about Donald Trump.
This petition specifically. And I've also heard on your show, Lawrence O'Donnell did it last night, where he went down each aspect of the characteristics of somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, and he had a psychologist on. I think that there needs to be a widespread call for the Republican Party to say, we need to bring this guy under control, and maybe somebody needs to do a check. We know that they're talking about doing an intervention politically. I'm saying they need to do an intervention from the health perspective. This is a very serious matter. I am not joking here. I think this is very serious, and that's why I think the public needs to be involved.
Congresswoman Karen Bass, we will continue to monitor how it goes with this